Hello and welcome to class. This class is going to be a very grounded, slow-moving healing practice. You don't need any props, but as always, props are always encouraged. I have a cushion behind me, so if you have any cushions, pillows, blankets, blocks, anything that you need that you like for your practice, feel free to grab that and jump into something super comfy, maybe even light a diffuser or a candle, and this should just be a really nice, healing, cozy practice. To begin, we're going to begin in a seated position, so any comfortable seat that is comfortable for you. If you'd like to sit up on a cushion, I'm going to do that. You can sit cross-legged, one leg in front, or even in a kneeling position. And just take a few minutes to arrive here in our practice together. So if you're feeling comfortable, just closing down the eyes, placing the hands anywhere on the body that you're feeling called to. And just begin to tune in. Maybe there is something that you're dealing with that you're trying to heal from today. Maybe just taking a moment to acknowledge that. Giving yourself some grace for any part of that healing journey that hasn't gone your way. And taking a moment to set an intention for how you want to heal moving forward. And then as we start to tune into the body, feeling the sits bones grounding down into the mat, growing long through the sides of the waist. The spine is long. The shoulders are relaxed down the back. Crown of the head reaches a little bit taller towards the ceiling as the ears grow away from the shoulders. Nice and strong, stable foundation. And as you keep this strong seat, just see if on each inhale you can grow a little bit taller. And each exhale, if you can just soften the muscles just a tad around the bones. Finding some ease in this seat. Releasing any tension that's not needed. So releasing through the eyebrows. The cheeks are soft. Relaxing any tension along the jaw. And the shoulders and the belly and the hips all soften. And then we'll start to tune into the breath. Watching and following the air as it moves in and out of the body. Maybe on an inhale, breathing in through the nose, watching that air move back and down into the lungs, into the belly. And then as you breathe out, watching that air move back up and out of the chest, out back through the nose. Sometimes it can be helpful to imagine this air as more of a mist, or even giving it a color. Doesn't matter what color, just maybe try imagining any color that comes to mind. And as you breathe in, you follow that color as it flows down into the torso. torso, filling the whole torso, front to back, side to side, with that color, with that mist. And then as you exhale, letting the lungs completely empty that mist, empty that color, back up and forward, out through the nose. A few more breaths on your own. Just watching the flow of the breath. Take one more, making it your biggest breath yet. And maybe sighing it out through the mouth. You can blink your eyes open. Maybe put a smile on your face, and we will get moving. So to begin, let's come to a cross-legged position, or one leg in front of the other. Let's bring the right leg in front of the left to begin. You can, again, just be seated down on your mat, or you can have a cushion or a block underneath your seat. Inhale, we're gonna grow long through the spine here. Sits bones are grounding down into the mat, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. And exhale, just hinging at the hips, keeping the spine nice and long. Hands go out in front to meet the ground or up on some blocks. Then we're gonna go a couple rounds of cat-cow here. So arcing through the spine, sending the chest through the arms. And then rounding as you tuck the tailbone under, dip the chin towards the chest. Inhale, widening between the sits bones, inching in between the shoulder blades. And exhale to round. Feel that low back lengthening. Few more at your own pace, moving with your breath. The next time that you come back through center, back to a neutral spine, start to walk the hands forward just a little bit more, seeing if you can go a little bit deeper. Nice long spine still, back of the neck is long, just gazing down at the floor, maybe in between your fingertips. Feel the side bodies get long on an inhale. And exhale, see if you can soften those muscles just a little bit more. Good. Walking the hands back in to meet the feet. Left knee is going to stay bent, right leg's going to go out about 45 degrees, so left sole of foot meets the inside of the right leg. Inhale, bring those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, side bend over towards the right. Right fingertips meet anywhere along the right leg. Deep side body stretch all the way from the left hip to the left fingertips. Seeing if you can open up a little bit more between the left side body, in between the ribs. Maybe if you liked working with that color or mist of the breath, just imagine that color filling that whole left side. Keeping the right hand on the right leg. Left hand's going to come to meet the back of the head. Left elbow's pointed up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale to close as you bring the left elbow towards the right elbow. Inhale, reaching left elbow rack up to the sky. And exhale to close. Few more. Just getting a little bit more rotation through the thoracic spine here. The next time that left elbow reaches back up towards the ceiling, rise back up, shoulders stacking over hips. Left leg is going to continue to stay bent. Just going to come up onto the left hip, bending through the right knee, bringing it behind you. So you're in somewhat of a 90-90 shape here, and you can play with this for a minute with the legs, bringing them as close to the body or as far away as feels comfortable. Inhale, bringing the arms back up overhead. Exhale, twist over towards the left as you bring the hands back down onto the mat. Staying up high for a minute, and then using that breath to fold over the left leg. You can stay up high on some blocks, or if you're feeling open enough, you can go ahead and come down onto the forearms. The more that you walk your hands over towards the left side, the more intense this pose is going to be. So just take whichever variation you're feeling called to today. Maybe a gentle push in of the right knee down into the mat, opening up a bit more through that right hip. Good. Exhale to slowly unravel. Bring the legs out nice and wide. Hands come behind. Few gentle windshield wiper of the legs. Just going to switch that up and move on over to the other side. So coming back to our seated position, left leg's in front now. Hands are going to walk out in front to meet the mat. Nice long spine, few cat-cows. Again, some blocks under the hands here will really give you some more space. If I could have found my blocks, I would have been using them. Good. Inhale as you send that chest through the hand, maybe even pulling the hands back a little bit towards the legs. And exhale as you round, sending the back of the heart towards the back wall, rounding through that low back. Good. And as you come back up through center, take a breath, and then exhale, start to walk the hands out a little bit further in front. Maybe relaxing the back of the neck, and give a gentle shake side to side, up and down. And whenever you're ready, start to walk the hands back in to meet the legs. Right knee's going to stay bent, left leg's going to go out to 45 degrees. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, side bend over towards the left. Left fingertips just meet anywhere along the left leg. Right hip stays grounded. Right fingertips reaching up and over. Opening in between each rib space along this right side body. See if with each inhale you can grow that space, reaching the right ribs over towards the right and up. Good. Right hand comes behind the head, elbows pointing up towards the ceiling, and exhale to close, bringing right knee or right elbow towards left elbow. Opening and closing through the chest here. Moving with your breath. And the next time that the right elbow is pointed up towards the ceiling, release, coming back up to that seated position. Right knee continues to stay bent, but we're going to bend the left knee, sending the right foot behind us, again in our somewhat of a 90-90, play with it to make it comfortable for you. Up on that right hip, left hip can reach up off the mat, twisting over towards the right. And play with how deep you want this twist to be. Maybe you want to twist a little bit more, but then come back and fold over that right knee, staying up high in the hands or coming down onto the forearms. Left knee, left hip, pushing down in towards the mat. Inhale, rising back up onto the hands if you're on the forearms. Coming back through center. Left and right leg now, going out to about 45 degrees for this wide-legged fold. This pose can be really nice to have a little something under the hips so you can get a little bit more of a tilt through your pelvis here, so you can play with that. Find some engagement of the feet, so either pointing the toes or flexing the toes back towards the shin, either way. But grounding down through the sits bones, growing long through the sides of the waist, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, just hinging at the hips, leading with the chest as you fold forward. Hands can come down onto the mat or on some blocks. Gentle sway side to side. Probably feeling a lot of sensations all along the bottom of each leg. Going to be here for probably 5 more breaths, so just working with your breath. Can you release any tension that you don't need? Releasing through the quads, relaxing the kneecaps. Maybe you're able to fold a little bit deeper. Softening the muscles around the hips. Two more breaths. And on your next inhale, start to walk the hands back in towards your center. You can grab under each knee, bending through the knees, bringing the soles of the feet together. Knees go wide for our butterfly pose. And just take a moment just to maybe massage out the feet. Bending and her flexing and extending through the toes. Massaging along the arches. Maybe even getting all 5 fingers in between all 5 toes there. You can do 1 foot at a time, and then the other. Whatever is feeling nice for you today. Good. And then whenever you're ready again, we're going to grow long through the spine. Strong, stable base as your sits bones ground into the mat. You can use your hands on your ankles or your heels just as a little bit of support, maybe even shine that chest forward a little bit more. And then exhale, start to fold over the knee or over the feet, keeping that spine as long as possible. Once you have found your depth, then go ahead and round through the spine, letting the chin dip in towards the chest, letting the shoulders roll in. Releasing through the middle back, through the low back. Completely surrendering in this butterfly pose. Crown of the head hangs towards the floor. Inhale. You slowly walk the hands back in. Legs are going to release out in front. Give them all a little shake, little wiggle. And then rolling over the ankles, we're going to come to our all fours position. The wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Drop the belly, gazing out over your mat as your chest reaches forward. Exhale, pushing into the hands. Back of the heart domes up towards the ceiling. Tailbone tucks under for cat-cow. Few more on your own. Letting the sits bones widen. Come into your cow. And tucking the tailbone under as you round into cat. Inhale, pulling those hands back towards the knees, opening through the chest. And exhale, pushing through the hands, sending the back of the heart up. And coming back through to a neutral spine. Extend the right leg long, coming up onto the toes. And just flexing and extending through that ankle, rocking the shoulders over the wrists, and then pushing that right heel back. Just getting a little bit of movement into that right calf. If you're having any wrist pain, you can come up onto some fists. Just keep those fingertips nice and wide. That'll help with any pain. Then you're going to walk your right leg out to the right so it's in line with the right knee. And inhale here, rocking the shoulders over the wrists. And exhale, send the hips back down towards that left heel. Good. Inhale to rock forward, sending the shoulders over the wrist. And exhale, hips come down towards the left heel. Your right foot can be flat on the mat here, or you can raise right toes up towards the ceiling, maybe exploring a little bit of both. And the next time that your hips come down towards your heels, pause there. Arms are extended out in front, long through the sides of the waist. Exhale, coming back. Shoulder stack over wrist again. Pick up that right leg, sweep it around and over towards the left hand side. It's coming, crossing behind the left leg. Again, flexing and extending through that right ankle as you send the hips a little bit closer again towards that left heel. Experiment with how far back you want that right leg. Hopefully getting some nice deep sensations along the left outer hip. And pausing with those hips a little bit closer down towards the heel. You can reach the right arm, maybe walk it forward just a little bit further. Nice big stretch all the way from those right toes to the right fingertips. Good. Coming back through center. A few more breaths in your cat-cow. And you can move this cat-cow in any way that you'd like. If you'd like to move right to left, opening up through the side bodies. If you'd like to turn it into more of a barrel roll. Or even just isolating one part of the cat-cow. Maybe you want to move just through the hips or just through the thoracic spine. Good. Next time that you come back through center, extending the left leg long, tuck the left toes under, point and flex through those left toes, sending the shoulders over the wrists. Getting a stretch along that left calf. Pausing with that left heel, reaching back, lengthening along the left calf. And then sweeping the left leg out to the side, bringing that left foot in line with the right knee. Inhale, send the shoulders over the wrist. And exhale, hips come back toward right heel. Good. Getting a little bit deeper into the left inner thigh here. You can keep a nice neutral spine, or if you would like to experiment with some cat-cows as you rock back and forth with this extended leg, feel free to do that. And the next time that the hips rock back towards the heel, pausing there. Reaching strong through the fingertips, elongating them away from the waist. Coming back up through center. Picking up that left leg and sweeping it up and around over towards the right side of your mat. Pointing and flexing through these left toes and ankle. Get a little bit deeper into the right hip. Once you've found a depth that's working for you, pause there. Maybe extend the left fingertips a little bit up and over, opening up along that left side body. Good. Coming back through center, back through our all fours position. Toes to touch, knees to touch, or knees as wide as the mat. Sink the hips back down into your child's pose. You can keep the arms extended out in front. You can release them down along your sides, resting your forehead down onto the mat, or even bringing forearms to the mat, resting up on the elbows. Take a few minutes to pause here, a few minutes to breathe. A moment just to come back to the intention of, if you set one, how you wanted to move forward if you're on any kind of healing journey. And another opportunity to tune into the breath. If you were enjoying working with imagining the breath as a mist or a color, while you're in your child's pose here, can you fill the entire back body with that mist or that color, all the way from the upper back down through the mid back into the lower back. And exhale, can you completely let that mist empty out? And then you can stay here in your child's pose, or I'm going to give you about 10 breaths or so to make your way up to the top of the mat. So whether you want to come into a down dog, or if you want to move through any more poses in all fours, or just stay reflecting in your child's pose. Take a few moments now to tune into what your body needs before we meet at the top of the mat. There's no right or wrong answer here. Maybe just taking notice of if you feel like you don't know what to do, or you feel uncomfortable when someone's not guiding you in your movement. Trust yourself that you are doing what you need right here, right now. 5 more breaths. And as we come to stand at the top of our mat, maybe just taking a moment just to give it all a little shake, a little wiggle, maybe really just trying to shake off anything that you're having a hard time letting go of. Just giving it all a little wiggle, a little shake. Again, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Sometimes the stupider that it looks, the better that it feels. We're going to go through just a couple sun salutations to move a little bit with our breath, and then we will be coming back down onto the ground. So take your gaze down at your feet, maybe rocking forward and back for just a few rocks until you can find kind of your center ground. Swaying a little bit right to left. Again, finding that center ground between all 4 corners of your feet. Pick up those toes, spread them nice and wide. Little bend in the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms down, around and up, gazing up at the fingertips. Bend through the knees. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold. Keep the spine long until the belly meets the thighs. Crown of the head hangs heavy. Inhale, hands come to the shins. Spine lengthens for halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, roll up. 1 vertebra at a time. I'll cue that one more time. So inhale, circle those arms. Make yourself big, reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale, spine is long to fold. Inhale, hands come to the shins or the mat. Extending the spine long, gaze is down in front of the mat. Exhale to fold. Inhale, roll up. You're going to do that about 2 or 3 more times on your own, working with your own breath. But make it dramatic, make it big, take up space. This is your practice. Let your body move with your breath. Next time that you come to your forward fold, big bend in the knees, take a pause here. You can grab opposite elbows with the hands, find a gentle sway side to side. Let the crown of the head hang heavy. And release, hands come down to the mat. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Walk the toes and heels into touch. And bend your knees as much as you need to come down into a little toe stand. You can be just up on the toes with hands down the mat. Or you can also bring your knees down to the mat, relaxing the hips onto the heels. Make sure that little pinky toe is out if it's caught under. And just giving a nice big stretch along the soles of the feet here. You can put something on your knees if those are uncomfortable. Or just coming down That can be a really intense sensation. So if you're feeling a lot of sensations or a lot of discomfort, you can bring the hands back down to the mat. That's going to take some of the pressure off of your feet. Good. A few more breaths here. And whenever you're ready, walk those hands back down onto the mat, untuck the toes. Maybe give them all a little shake. Tops of the feet come flat onto the mat, so we're down into our kneeling position. Now we're going to stretch along the top of the feet. So you're staying in this kneeling position, you can simply lift one knee up a few inches and then the other. This can be really nice up on some blocks too, just to give you some more space. Or if you're feeling okay, you can come down onto the fingertips or onto the palms and start to lift both knees up, keeping as much of the top of the foot flat on the mat as you can. You can round through the spine here. Find your breath. And release the knees back down onto the mat. Good. We're gonna walk our knees back. Hands are gonna be flat on the mat. And taking your time just to come down onto your belly. Soles of the feet are flat on the mat. Just use your hands as a little pillow for a moment. And sway the hips a little bit side to side, releasing through the low back. Good. And tops of the feet are planted into the mat. Hips are driving into the mat. Inner thighs are kind of spiraling towards one another and up towards the ceiling. Hands are going to come under the shoulders, elbows back. We're setting up for our Cobra pose. So back of the neck is long, gazing down at the mat. And an inhale, we're going to grow long as we reach our chest forward and up, peeling our body off the mat. And exhale to fold. Not a lot of weight in the hands. Inhale as you grow long. Crown of head reaching forwards and up, engage those back muscles. And exhale to fold. Few more on your own. Tops of the feet, hips are staying grounded into the mat. Back body's doing all the work. One more. And hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Good. You can bring those hands back under the head and find a little shimmy of the hips, releasing through the low back. Keeping the hands just as they are for a little bit of support. You're going to bend your right knee up out to the side, so your right knee is kind of in line with your right hip. It's kind of like it's a half frog pose or a tree pose, but kind of on the belly. Right knee, right hip. Pushing down into the mat, opening up on that right side. Find some softness with the breath. And you can stay here if this is enough for you. Or if you'd like to walk your right hand out in front, so it's just extended overhead. Left arm's going to thread under the right. Left palm is facing up towards the ceiling for our shoelace pose. So this is opening up along the back of that left shoulder. You can just use your left bicep kind of to rest your chin on as a little pillow. Squaring off through the shoulders, kind of reaching that right armpit down towards the mat. Finding a few moments of stillness. Releasing through any muscles that are tense, that don't need to be. Releasing through the glutes right now. Letting the muscles soften, letting the muscles open. Good. If you're in this shoelace pose, you can just walk the right hand back, kind of under that right shoulder. And if you're not in the shoelace pose, you're just going to bring the left arm across the body, right arm under the shoulder, pushing through that right hand as you come up onto the left side, and then roll onto the back for a reclined twist. This right shoulder can be up off the mat, the right knee can be up off the mat. You can use any of your props, pillows, to put any support. And you can just be gazing up at the ceiling, or maybe you want to gaze over those right fingertips. It's okay if you've wandered off your mat. Rolling back through center, back onto the belly. Hands go back under the forehead. The right leg's going to extend long, bending through that left knee. Left knee comes in line with left hip for our half frog on the second side. And left knee, left hip, pushing a little bit into the mat, opening up. And you can just stay here in this half frog, or if you'd like to add the shoelace, extending left leg or left arm out in front. Right arm threads under the left, right palm facing up towards the ceiling. Squaring up the shoulders as much as possible. Relaxing the chin down onto the right bicep. Opening up through the back of the right shoulder. Releasing the glutes here. And walking the left hand back under the left shoulder, extending the right arm across the body if it's not already there, and pushing your way into your reclined supine twist. Arms can fall wherever feels comfortable. Maybe bringing the right hand to the outside of the left knee, gently guiding it a little bit closer towards the mat. each exhale, maybe twisting a little bit deeper. And releasing the left knee, letting it fall back over towards the left as you come flat on your back. You can shimmy back onto your mat if you have come off of it in any way. And taking any other final movements that your body's feeling called to do before we settle in for our final resting pose, or Shavasana. And you can take any final resting pose that you're feeling called to do. If you want to come into a reclined butterfly, you can have the feet as wide as the mat, knees knocking in towards one another. You can sit up against the wall, or just coming into a traditional Shavasana where we extend the legs out long, arms relaxed down by the sides, palms up. Letting go of any residual tension. Maybe taking notice of any areas of your body that aren't touching the mat. You know, the back of the knees, the low back, the back of the neck. And just seeing if with each exhale you're able to soften those areas, bringing them a little bit closer down to the ground. And final moment to come back to any intention that you had set. One last opportunity to work with the breath. Maybe if you've been working with a color, if you can just let that whole color seep into every inch of your body. And feel that color work its way down into your fingertips. Down into the belly. As it works its way through the hips. Down the legs and into the toes. And then let that color work its way back up, filling all the way up to the crown of the head. Let it soften. As you sink deeper and deeper into the mat. And we'll take a good 3 to 5 minutes in the Shavasana. Letting our body absorb all of the healing. Start to gently waken the body back up by wiggling through the fingers, through the toes. Maybe stretching the arms out overhead, extending the legs long, pointing through the toes. Making yourself nice and long. And then rolling over onto one side. Pausing there for as long as you need. Coming back up to your seated position. Whenever you're ready. And we'll take one final breath together. As we inhale those arms up overhead, grabbing all of this healing energy. And exhaling down through center. Placing your hands over your heart. Thank you so much for moving with me today. Namaste.